There's a list of things that you should not believe about crypto. You want to know what those things are and a tactical strategy for the next week? Don't go anywhere. Watch this live stream. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel so you know when we're going live at night and in the morning. If the content works for you, hit that like button. We're looking to break our record of 200 likes in one stream. Okay, cutting right into it. The things I don't believe. First of all, every head of state, all the sovereigns, they have this big show, multiple summits, multiple countries, talking about, I don't know, the Europeans are going to pay $100 billion for implements of self-defense, which we don't even have. And then they're going to send that over to Eastern Europe. Oh, please. I'm so tired of winning. None of that was true. It was literally all fake. They get done with this taxpayer-funded charade, and then conflict starts all over again, to the point where major thought leaders in the geopolitical space are claiming that, quote, if there is no peace deal, offensive strikes deep inside the big country have been authorized. Now, you're undoubtedly wondering at this point what this has to do with crypto. Listen to me. They want you distracted. They want you distracted from crypto. They want you distracted from probably, I think it's accurate to say at this point, insane things that are going on either in the Middle East or elsewhere, right? And they're going to use every tactic that they have. Like, they've got the culture war is back. You know, they've got, ooh, Gavin Newsom's a bad guy. Ooh, Gavin Newsom's got a nickname for J.D. Vance. Ooh, Elon Musk is in bed with J.D. Vance, blah, 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 blah. We all know that Web 2 and Silicon Valley and all of these guys are in bed with sovereigns and the surveillance state. We also know that there's no difference between politician A and politician B. We also know that there's no difference between party A and party B at this point. If you're not seeing that, well, I welcome you to open your eyes. There's a bunch of people you can listen to, or you could just take my word for it. The great news is crypto is the final disruptor of all of these people. AI will disrupt the private sector, and crypto will disrupt the public sector. Now, continuing on with fiction, we have the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act that was supposed to be on the president's desk in September will now supposedly be on the president's desk in November. Okay. God bless Cynthia Lummis for continuing to try. She needs a little bit of help up there, in my opinion. So they got the stablecoin bill done so that Uncle Sugar can continue to issue treasuries to the stablecoin companies. But good luck seeing the Clarity Act, because you know what? If they admit that you have clarity on crypto, every bank, every treasury, every sovereign is disrupted. Everybody's making fun of the Bitcoin and Ethereum treasury companies. I could see how that could be a little bit cringe. I said that before. And that may be part of the market's decline, is that people just got too euphoric. But you know what? At least those people are trying. You know what? Let's hire Tom Lee. Let's do the MicroStrategy model with a different digital asset. Is that so terrible? Or is telling you we're going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve, a sovereign wealth fund, we're going to bring in money from tariffs, and then we're not going to do any of it. And then we'll say, oh yeah, we'll give you a bill in 3 months. Come on. You know, what are they really doing, right? Like, ooh, we'll give you this. And ooh, look, there's a conflict over there. We have the U.S. Marines headed for some South American country. For what? For what? I mean, there is a very distinct pattern here that cannot be ignored. I take a level of risk bringing these things up. I am absolute, even if the market goes down, which it feels like it wants to, because we'll go into the next joke next, which is Powell, right? Everybody has got you distracted. And the list of those distractions is worth noting. Like normally there's one distraction. Now it feels like they have 4 or 5 going at once. And it feels like none of it, like I literally mean none of it, is in your interest. None of it. So let's talk about, I don't know, distraction 6, Powell. Everywhere in the whole world, like what Jerome Powell says at the Jackson Hole conference determines the fate of humanity. Will he cut rates in September? Who cares? Who cares? We're spending $2 trillion more than we take in. And to be completely objective, nobody knows what the economic numbers are. Like the Fed may have a model, they may have some idea, but they're not out at Costco. They don't know what's going on. They don't have purchasing manager surveys. They have no idea. They have no idea what is going on. They're guessing on interest rates. England guessed too low. Their bond market fell apart. We've guessed too high. You have a third world conflict between the president of the United States and the Federal Reserve. What a joke. And what is it distracting you from? The fact of the matter is, it's distracting you from crypto is your only way around all these clowns. And Powell will say something, and Bitcoin will go to 110. We have our target in Patreon and all the reports. We discussed it yesterday on the YouTube member podcast. We have the date and the time that, you know, the price and the date that we think these things are going to bottom by coin. Okay, right. Everyone's going to get all upset. They're going to try to push you out. They're going to, you know, they've got obviously got billions in crypto to buy, because if I know this is a BS distraction, and this, I mean all of it. I mean, seriously, all the way down to Yeezy, which we'll get to. Trust me, right? It's just all of it is a stupid distraction. And frankly, it gets more pathetic by the day, which, you know, also massively helps crypto. Massively. Because when people because people are getting tired of it. Like you're seeing young influencers go, hey, man, I'm over this. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Huh. How long do you think that's going to take before it floods over to crypto? Like before people go, you know what? I think this is the way out. It is the way out. It's the only way out. Because, you know, they're never going to act in your interest. Ever. It's becoming obvious. Right? I mean, they're authorizing, I mean, there's two geopolitical fronts. One in the Middle East and one in Eastern Europe. And one thing that is very clear to me that makes me just want to buy all the crypto on the planet, particularly if we want to sell on something as dumb as what Powell does or doesn't do, which again, doesn't matter. It's just making his future book a bigger bestseller. Doesn't matter what he does. Oh, Powell cuts rates 50 basis points. Everything's going to be fine. Was it fine in England? I mean, yes, rates are too high and he has messed up. But what he does now, it's not going to have any impact. If anything, I think he's getting political points for resisting the orange man because, you know, people are getting tired. People are getting tired of this routine where everyone gets pushed around. Everyone was supposed to get pushed around so that things could get done in your interest when it's clearly obvious the reason everyone's getting pushed around is so that special interests can get what they want. And that's just fine. It's better than the strategic Bitcoin reserve because I think people are just going to wake up one day and go, oh, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. And you know what they're going to do when they're done with this? They're going to pick up their phone and they're just going to go, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. It's the green button that says buy, parentheses, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. I'm out. I mean, how long is it? What has to happen? What has to happen? Big Rich, our super chatter on the show, is asking about TAO, and the thing that's beautiful about most altcoins and a lot of crypto products is that they're very close to support. So if they puke it, they're either going to puke it right into support or maybe take it just below to, you know, scare everybody. They're going to sell this stuff to you at great prices. They want you looking over here so all the big characters can buy it over here. And I mean all of them. And Uncle Sugar should be one of those characters, but they're not. Everyone was like, oh, the government's going to moon my bags. Yeah, dude, they're going to moon your bags, all right? They're going to moon your bags because they are acting as bad as they ever have. They are acting as bad as they ever have, which is probably a good time to segue into Yeezy money. You know what? This stinks to high heaven. It really does. So, you know, the guy at the center point of Yeezy, a ridiculously controversial figure, to the point where you can't find his Twitter on the free speech platform. You can't even find it. You have to find someone that's tagged him and then go to that tweet and then hit the tag to get to the guy's Twitter. But magically, my phone pops up last night. Oh, I've announced Yeezy coin. Really? Wow. So we can't hear what you have to say about anything. We don't care about your latest song. But if you're doing a meme coin, well, we're going to send that out everywhere. Okay. And of course, this is run by the same people who did the sniping Trump Melania thing, whatever. It goes to $1 billion. It comes off. Everybody's disgruntled and mad and whatever. I'm just sort of wondering, like, wow, why did this guy do this? I mean, I guess it was a big payday. Okay, it was a big payday. Did he need the money? That's just a question. Did he need the money? And why would he do something stupid? This is the big question. Why would he do something stupid like this when the whole political narrative was actually going his way? This guy was a fringe lunatic that sounded like he needed to be locked up in jail. And then all of a sudden, a lot of his ideas are being picked up by younger people and they're running with it. And then he goes out and issues a meme coin, which I hate to say this, way back when I says, if they do this, it's over for the market. It's over. It's done. Now, I don't want to believe that's the case this time. I don't. But the whole thing stinks. Like when I saw it on my phone, a tweet from this guy, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Something's wrong with this. Now, maybe this is just another I'm tired of winning. I'm tired of winning, and this is just another, frankly, hose job. This is not what you should be focused on. I don't know if it's related, but it's a distraction. Like everybody's going to wound up about the market because of this, and no one's looking at TAO, Arweave, Chainlink, you know, the coins we talked about in the, you know, YouTube member podcast yesterday. I don't even think I ever got to the upside targets, what we have for January, which makes everyone selling crypto here sound even more absurd. But how many distractions can they give you? How many? I mean, I'm looking at a tweet here that, like, the governor of California is putting together a team so we can fight the orange man in California. Really? That's what you should be focused on. 5.5% unemployment rate in California. And don't you notice how every day they're feeding you a new piece, right? Oh, here's the unemployment rate in California. Okay, here's what the governor of California is doing. Every day they're feeding you this stuff. Every day they're feeding you stuff. You know, the orange man does the culture war. The orange man's got troops going to South America, right? We have a summit. The summit doesn't work. Now we're going to have a big conflict. Don't you see? Don't you see what a bunch of nonsense this is? And if they hit crypto on whatever they're going to hit crypto on, oh my God, the Fed says whatever at Jackson Hole. I mean, it'll never be bullish enough. It'll never be dovish enough. He's like, yeah, I'll do a cut in September if things get worse. Of course he would. Right. And I'm not excusing Powell because Powell has screwed up and Powell is not acting in your interest ever. But now the crypto market is getting like hyper fixated on it. Hyper fixated. I mean, look at this. I mean, Jackson Hole is a very pretty place in Wyoming. This has become like a romance novel. Like, what will Jerome Powell do next at the wonderful mountain retreat? What will he say that blesses us all and allows the market to go up? Shut up. Shut up. Right? I mean, this is everywhere. It's like every Eagle King, everything, you know, me and the Eagle King talk about this. Like every single thing. It's like, okay. Distraction. No way. Absolutely not. I mean, there's a Fed governor that supposedly got some issues about Morgan. She's like, you're not bullying me into resigning. Lady, the economy, we've been in a recession of a sort for 2 years. No job growth, you know, an unidentified spiraling increases in prices, package shrinkage, price gouging, and we're worried about you getting pushed out of office. I'm supposed to care about that. Meanwhile, back at the crypto ranch, Bitcoin traders' 6-month outlook turns bearish. As bearish since June of 2023 as momentum worsens. So at 124K, it was a fantastic add to my portfolio. And now at 112, I have to sell and make BlackRock dump Bitcoin because people are selling the ETF with reckless abandon. Meanwhile, they're buying every single dip. Like, oh, let's buy the dip in Nvidia. Yeah, let's do that. Absolutely. Because frankly, Nvidia is a systemic risk. Nvidia can't go down because if Nvidia went down, it would take everything else. It might take the whole system with it. Now, that's nice. And you may not understand what I'm talking about, but do you want to be a part of that system? And are you going to get bearish, the alternative to that system, when it's down 10, 15%? Or most altcoins haven't gone anywhere. Like, you know, we got altcoins on our, you know, just the top 100. I mean, we got 4 or 5 coins here easily that have done absolutely nothing. So you're going to get bearish because the stuff that was up is down 10%. And you're going to get bearish because the stuff that hasn't done anything continues to do nothing, even though they make the case for it every single day. Meanwhile, at the Privacy Ranch, they have quite a little debate going on down there, right? They nail a guy who writes code, and he gets convicted on a minor charge for money transmission. He didn't have a money transmission license. So he wrote code. And then, I don't know, what was he supposed to do? Go down to like, take his code down to the money transmission license. He goes, hi, I wrote some code. Where do I sign? How do I get a money transmission license? What, are you kidding me? What is it? Western Union? Is it a bank? Is it PayPal? No. It was just something where you moved your ETH through there and the whole world didn't know what your position was. You could develop something or fund something and not have the whole planet know it was you. I mean, this is like standard in legacy. Now everyone's like, oh, do we really have privacy? Are they really going to do the Clarity Act? Are we really going to have transactional freedom? Well, folks, what do you think? What do you think? You think they're just going to give you privacy? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, are you tired? Are you tired of waiting for them to give you something? Because what they're doing right now across the board is they're just helping themselves. They're like, yeah, you know, we gave you the red hat and, you know, it was the biggest stadium tour of all time and everybody was a rock star. And then everything is the same, and you think that, you know, they're going to just give you privacy. When if anything, they're acting in the opposite direction, right? Sovereigns in Asia are attacking Monero. This poor guy got convicted. Somebody had to give him $500,000 to continue to fight the endless legal battles. You know, he's going to wind up in court for the rest of his life for writing code. Meanwhile, Aintivirus continues the spirit of John McAfee. I mean, what, you don't think that the things that are happening in England couldn't happen somewhere else? They couldn't happen here? I mean, in this country, you can get deported for saying the wrong thing about the wrong people. You can, right? That 30 million people came in here, and they're just going to leave them here. But if you say the wrong thing about the wrong group, you're done. And of course, we've already talked about, like, you know, what you can say on Facebook in England. But the thing is what's going on over there any different from the things that go on over here? And should you get privacy in a hurry? And it's like, I'm down to watching the Monero 4-hour chart now. That's how kind of generally over it I am about the need to do this. And if they hit it again, oh my God, what a glorious thing that would be. Especially if they hit it where everyone in crypto turns around and gets bearish. I mean, Bitcoin ETFs shed 645 million. So people have pulled a billion out of, like, say, Bitcoin in the last 3 or 4 days, after piling in $1 billion a day for 2 days at the height of the ETH craze. And of course, you know, investment banks, where would we be without investment banks telling us JPMorgan outlines 4 factors behind Ethereum's outperformance over Bitcoin? It's like, hey, bro, we can watch a perfectly good free YouTube channel and know all these things 3 weeks or 4 weeks, or even in Benjamin Cohen's case, 6 weeks before you come out and explain it to us. Thank God we have you to do so. Banks. It's like the disgust level rises, right? The disgust level. Like, they are not telling you anything. You know what they're not telling you? To buy crypto. They're saying crypto is great. Like, Howard Lutnick is buying crypto. Now, everybody on the inside who knows how the sausage is made is buying crypto. Like, supposedly Howard Lutnick is buying everything. He's buying, you know, he's buying companies that benefit from the tariffs. He's buying Bitcoin. He's buying everything. It's amazing how all these insiders, you know, like, they condemned congressional insiders for doing things. Now the guys that are there that know how the sausage is made, they're just making money for themselves hand over fist. And I'm just wondering if they care about what happens to you. That's a good question, right? It is. Like, are you tired of winning? No. How's my altcoin bag doing? Terrible. Now, let's talk about what happens when this all turns itself around. Tokenization of assets is going to allow U.S. debt, U.S. securities, and probably eventually other crypto assets to benefit in places where they don't have things like Schwab accounts, like Latin America. The sector themes in crypto are invisible, right? Arthur Hayes just invested in some science companies, some of them decentralized. DePIN, DeFi, modular computing, cloud computing, AI agents. Listen, this stuff has not been touched. It hasn't been touched. The AI crypto trade has been done with Nvidia, maybe Bitcoin, and Circle. That's it. That's it. And even they're all negative on Bitcoin now because of the way Michael Saylor had to, I don't know, he had to sell his own stock to pay interest on all these securities that he recently issued to buy Bitcoin. And everyone lost their mind and Bitcoin went down 10%. You know, whatever. What? I mean, what did you think Mike was going to sell to pay for the interest on those securities? Like, these things that he issues that have all these cool names. Yeah, they require an interest payment. He's got to pay people 10% interest. What did you think he was going to do? You think he was going to sell the Bitcoin to do that? Come on. Sold his own stock. Is that shady? Yeah. But then again, the whole thing Mike's doing, the optics of it are horrible, and he doesn't care. He does not care. But you notice, 1 minute, Michael Saylor's a genius, right? Michael Saylor's a genius. He's all over MSNBC. He's a visionary. And then he makes one move, and then everyone dumps the market and hates it. I'm just not falling for this. I'm not. Even if they smack the market down, I'm not falling for this. Now, speaking of falling for this, and I'm actually happy about this, quietly, the Orange Man's $464 million civil fraud penalty vacated on appeal, just like that. Right? Now, just in case you're wondering what this is and what it has to do with crypto, it has everything to do with crypto. It has to do with how we got here. Donald Trump goes to buy real estate in New York City, goes to a bunch of banks, gives people some estimates as to what the properties are worth. You always give the banks a higher estimate because they always knock them down 50%. The banks testified that that's exactly what happened, that there was nothing wrong with the numbers that they got from the Trump people. Nothing. They testified there was no fraud, and he got convicted of fraud anyway. And he got ordered to pay a $500 million judgment for bad accounting. $464 million. I mean, I think the interest per day to appeal this case was something like $100,000 a day. Just to keep it going. You know, and you'd have to wait like 30 or 60 days for an appeal. Some crazy numbers. Okay. So what does this have to do with crypto? Well, who do you think got him out of all that? Who do you think said, okay, if you do what we say, we'll make all this go away? I don't know. You can look it up, but I know who it is. And I know they're not acting in your interest. None of these people are. None of them. That's why there's this huge flip, right? You had the stadium tours and all these promises in the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And then all you got was a massive meme coin pump and dump. And then magically, everything that the Orange Man was going to go to jail for just goes away as he continues to do whatever they ask him to do. Sound like a system you want to be a part of? I don't think so. And you know what? Toby called it. She's like, bro, you're going to get exactly what you got last time. And you're not getting a strategic Bitcoin reserve. You're not getting it. And she said that. And I didn't want to hear that in January because I'm all like, I'm having too much fun making made in America crypto thumbnails with the American flag and the XRP logo. Okay. And you know what? It's a bigger buy now than it was then. Because they're acting, it's like the whole thing's happening in broad daylight. It's happening in broad daylight. I mean, every single piece of news that you see is either, oh, well, we're down, we're concerned about where Bitcoin's going to go. Here's my favorite headline of the day. Here we go. Ready? Bitcoin analysts point to manipulation as price falls to 17-day low. I mean, when it's going up, it's the glorious revolution of crypto. When it goes down, it's manipulated. Now, to a certain degree, that is true. Big players who want it are just going to lean on this thing. And they're just going to keep leaning on it until everyone cracks or until, they can't short it anymore. Now, you have had failed rallies, right? Every rally that you've had over the last 3 days has failed. Not badly, but it's still failed, right? Like, first, Bitcoin's got to get above 116. That really is the number. And anytime it even gets anywhere close to that, it just fails. Which, does mean that they're sitting on it, which, oh, by the way, is the oldest trick in the book. And we've discussed this. It is the oldest trick in the book. Feed you distractions, feed you negativity, feed you all these different things to be looking at, get you all wound up about Powell. I mean, we put Powell on the thumbnail today. You know why? Because everyone else is. It's all wrong. I mean, putting it on the thumbnail is not wrong. Thinking it matters is wrong. It does not matter. He opens his mouth. The algorithms will trade it versus what they expect him to say. And then when it's all over, everyone will go, okay, let's go back to business. Rates over here are too high. Rates in England are too low. Their disaster is moving faster than ours. Next. Really? Next. I mean, how does anybody take this seriously? This as in all of it. The politics, the economics. Okay, so Yeezy, way up, way down. 800 million market cap. Hard to believe. Honestly, I like the idea of a different form of money. Hard to believe the timing of this. Really hard to believe. Meanwhile, back at the altcoin ranch, something good is happening. This is a head and shoulders bottom. This is an upward sloping neckline, which is very interesting and potentially very powerful. They are selling it right into a support zone right here. That's total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. Very interesting. Now, total altcoin market cap without Bitcoin, even though ETH doesn't trade very well, they're selling this into support, right? They're basically taking everything except Bitcoin and selling it right into a support shelf. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. I mean, that's when this whole thing, like, I mean, they may try to push it down one more time and they may try some gymnastics around Powell. This is not going to work. It's not, because no one believes it anymore. I mean, if I don't believe it and you don't believe it and kids don't believe it, who believes it? And eventually people are just going to look at this. Like I said, all you need is like one problem in the stock market, one person, and go, hey, you know what? This whole Nvidia fantasy, that's nonsense. There are so many other places to trade these themes. Can you believe? I mean, I can, but can you believe the quiet in Solana? Like, what's the big news in Solana? I don't know. I guess it's Yeezy, right? That's the big news in Solana. Not a word about this. Everyone's like, oh, we want clarity. We want, we want genius. We want all this stuff. Dude, what do you think all that runs on? Right? Everybody is bullish. Everybody is buying everything except the crypto. Like, they're bullish crypto in stonks. They're bullish crypto in the legislature. Okay. They're on TV. It's like, yeah, we love crypto. Yeah, let's go IPO. Yeah. No one's buying crypto. No one. I mean, in other words, they have somehow figured out a way to talk circles around this. They're talking about everything except what matters. Everything except what matters. And Bob M., you're right. Exactly. That's exactly the group. They don't want you thinking about your own freedom. They don't. Because if you did, you would probably get upset. Now, what they don't realize is, unlike in the past, if you got upset, there was nothing you could do about it. Nothing. Or you could try to do something about it, but you would wind up with a law enforcement problem. Nothing you can do. Now, now it's like, oh, let's read the news. Article number 1. Okay, hang on. Boop. Article number 2. Article number 3. Article number 4. It's like, it's like Woody Woodpecker on your phone. Like, Look at this chart. Solana is dead. Right. Okay. Yeah. ETH was dead too. XRP at 285. I don't want any. Not a particularly pretty break out of this triangle. But, like I said, equilibrium is at 281, and I really don't mind telling you that the Gann model wanted to buy XRP around 280 something, and I thought it was out of its mind. It's like, there's no way we're going to get down there. Not only did they get down there, but they left it down there. They're like, let's see what happens to XRP. Let's take it like a big rock and throw it out of like a first floor window and let it sit out there on the lawn and see if anyone picks it up. Seriously. I'm not doing this. I mean, the number one long, we have 3. I said this morning, so I'll be fair to everybody, even though I get smacked for doing this. We had 3 from the YouTube member podcast. We had 3 coins that the Gann model, the Gann-Toby model, thought was going to be a good entry level around the 23rd to the 24th. So we have 3 coins between the 21st and the 24th. Interestingly, one of the coins around the 23rd was QNT. QNT, huh? Interesting. Right? Dietz says Arrow God Candle. Okay, well, you know, in a way, you know, I said the Gann model sold Arrow, right? And I was like, all right, well, I'll put in Arrow and not Radium. We'll do that. Dude, Arrow is telling you that ETH DeFi is about to explode beyond imagination. I think that's what the machine couldn't see. So Arrow, yes, in theory, Arrow could totally God candle to 240. It's at equilibrium. There's nothing on this chart that's bad. The only thing that's weird about what's going on with Arrow is like the daily swings. Like it's up 7. It goes up like 8 or 10% overnight. Like they close the market and then Asia ramps it 10% and then New York sells it. It's weird. Now, that said, ETH DeFi is for real. The oracles are moving. Multiple oracles are moving. Chainlink is next. You know, Toby said ETH and DeFi for so long, she doesn't want to talk about it anymore. It's like, bro, I told you about this. And it's happening, right? If you don't think you're going to need to go outside the banking system, you got problems in certain countries. And by the way, latest YouTube member podcast, she actually told you where the real problem is. I mean, I kind of thought that, sort of. But, dude, she did a mic drop on this. She monologued it. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to have to do like a follow-up research piece on this because everyone's looking today, and it's really B. When you listen to it, it's like, wow. Okay. So, I mean, if you want to do Arrow, you can do Arrow. I mean, I think the simple fact of the matter is, everything that's on Base is going to have to go on Coinbase. I may be saying this for like a year. They were going to have to get their act together. They have this Base network. They don't do anything with it. They're going to have to use Base as a pipeline to get cool new stuff into Coinbase. Like, why do we have to have a benediction for a listing? We don't. They list stuff on all these other exchanges like almost immediately with a minimum of qualification. Gemini is going to have money soon. That is also getting Coinbase off their you-know-what. So, you know, there's also rumors of water being tokenized. You know, what is going to happen when you start having these huge launches on Base? Right? And, you know, whether it's Arrow or whether it's something else, it's not about Arrow. It's about whether or not they're going to port all of finance over to ETH, which includes Solana and XRP as money. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Like, you know, Bitcoin is more bearish than it's been since 2023. Everyone's like, party's over. I'm out. Whales are selling. I'm done. Michael Saylor's a fool. Whatever. This is always what it sounds like at the bottom. It's always what it sounds like right before they maybe heave it one more time. Or maybe they've just dropped it and left it there. So you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Whereas if you look at the news, which I mean, I went over like half the news that would be considered a distraction. Half of it. What are they distracting you from? I don't know. Well, you do know. You know what's going on in some of these other countries, right? And you know what's going on in ours. It's like, well, let's have a gigantic summit. Let's fly everybody to Alaska and have a summit and have that come unglued in 2 days, 3 days. This is the coin Arthur Hayes invested in, Bio. So as you can see, you have robust volume coming in here. And look at this. This is what it is. Your gateway to decentralized science. Want to know how many people are talking about this? None. We have sectors that Toby is talking about. She actually gave them to you in order in the YouTube member podcast. She's like Sector A, Sector B, Sector C. And somebody would go up to her in a bar and go, have you heard about Sector B? And you would be like, is that in crypto? And they'll be like, yeah, it's in crypto. And I'll be like, I hadn't heard of that. I was too busy being distracted by the Clarity Act. Stop it. No. Okay, let's get over here. Let's look at some TA. Okay, so ETH on a 4-hour chart. So this is a 4-hour chart of ETH, and what you can tell here is that for whatever reason, they have no interest in taking it through resistance. They're not interested. So I don't know. Maybe they got to go down here and pay $4,000 a visit. I don't know. To me, this feels like this is where the distraction is, right? Like every time it goes up, they sell. Like sell. Oh. It's a quiet form of discouragement. Like they do want you out. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin, one thing that is not being talked about is that they just washed everybody out, literally. Like they washed out the whole month of August. Like everyone's like, oh my God, crypto is the future. I mean, do you remember this? I was like, oh my God, we got to get involved. It's breaking out. I got to buy the ETF. I got to buy the Treasury Company. Tom Lee says ETH is going to 15,000. It's the formation where everybody FOMOs in and everybody gets wrecked. Everybody who's bought Bitcoin in the month of August is now losing money. Seriously, everybody. Like, wow, that's pretty powerful. Now, of course, again, if I was a market maker, and I know we have this section, welcome to the section of the show where Bill goes, if I was a market maker. If I was a market maker, I would try to get every single stop below 112. I would hit this thing. I would hit everything to try to break 112. Now, of course, if I got caught and there was a huge short squeeze like there was the other day, that's how you know. Seriously, when they do these like 10% moves overnight, like as soon as New York closes, everything levitates. That's because they're leaning on it all day. I would do the same thing. I'd be like, oh my God, if we ran the stops below 112 and we got everybody out and all these short-term people who came in and everyone pukes the ETF, oh my God, we would make so much money. They'd be out, they'd be bearish. Fear greed would be at 50 or 40, and we would just be hovering it all up. I mean, the risk reward, even though it's like down, like, dude, if they can't get a bid going on this, I'm just going to keep hitting it. I'm just going to keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it to try to break it. So, okay, they break it. Just don't have it break your mentality. Don't let them break your mind. They can mess up your P&L, but don't let them get you out of the game. The normal statement is don't let them get your crypto. They're trying to get your crypto. And they may wind up getting some people's crypto. But even if you do get caught, like don't let them take you out of the game. That's the most important thing. Don't let them take you out of the game, right? Because they're distracting you from what? Well, probably from your own future. I probably should try answering that question, right? What are they distracting you from? Your future. Not the future they want you to have, not the future the deep state wants you to have, not the parties in Eastern Europe, not the parties in the Middle East, not the banks, not the Treasury, not the Fed. No. Your future. And John McAfee has told you for 5 years that your future is in your hands, not theirs. XRP. So XRP makes a volatile bottom at 275 and goes straight up. And they're trying to get everybody out the same way they got everybody out on the way to 3. So up, everyone out, up, everyone out. And, they can only do this so many times. If they don't break it, guess what? Guess what? I mean, insiders, everyone's like selling it, guys leaning on it. Okay. Have fun, boys. Have fun with this. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, you're going to get absolutely smoked when this thing turns around and everyone realizes there's only one asset class. Okay, Lake, the official cryptocurrency partner of a soccer team or a football team, depending on what country you're in. Let's see what they got going on. Oh, Lake. Sorry, this is not a soccer team. Digital water, introducing the next global asset class. Looks like they want to trade water at a $50 million market cap. Okay, well, I know a bunch of guys who are into this. Not this, something else. All I can say is y'all better look out for that. Because they pull that off. I'm not going to say anymore. But we do know that alternative assets, okay, jokes aside, we need alternative assets to the dollar. We definitely need alternative assets to sterling, Swiss franc. I mean, Swiss have problems because UBS has problems. But UBS is a disaster. And this is making me want to pull up, like, let's see. What are our choices in the world? We can buy water on the blockchain, or we can buy the British pound. Wow, they really wanted that British pound, didn't they? All the way up here. Their idea of selling the dollar was to buy the pound. Given what they got going on over there and given what Toby said in the YouTube member podcast, I would strongly encourage you to reevaluate that. But of course, monkey market doesn't reevaluate anything. They just do things and they just leave it there and they hope you don't notice. Well, guess what? Guess what, homie? We noticed. Stupid. And all this stupid stuff, the great thing about crypto is when you have stupid things happening in legacy, crypto can unwind it like that. Like, legacy's like, well, we have to turn the aircraft carrier, wait for the Fed and wait for somebody to, no. Crypto would just go, you know what? This is stupid. We're going the other way. And maybe it's because it's the second half of August. For crypto, it's in like slow motion because everyone's at the beach. Okay. All the more reason, right? They're all at the beach. They're going to run the stops. If they can't run the stops, it's going to go straight up. Right? They're going to get whatever. I've seen this like 4 or 5 other times. They're going to try to get as much crypto as they can. And if it doesn't work, or if they get the crypto and then they're just going to be like, okay, we got all the crypto. Now let's take it the other way, which is exactly what I would do. Like if I got all the crypto that I needed to give to somebody else, well, I would get all the crypto and then try to make them pay as high a price as possible. So let's just hit it, get everyone's crypto and everyone's out and bearish and then ram it the other way. Ramming speed, all systems go. Tell R2D2 to turn on the hyperdrive. So you could have a print at whatever level we gave people in Patreon Premium or on the YouTube member podcast with my book report and my clairvoyant analyst's view on the world. And we're just like, hey, as soon as they get what they want, they're either going to get what they want on the downside or they're going to get what they want if they have to pay up. They paid up the last time, the 124, and that kind of, honestly, that didn't work out very good. A lot of people FOMO'd in and it got dropped. So again, if I was a market maker, I'm like, I'm not FOMOing in again. I'm gonna lean on this thing. I'm gonna get everything I want and I'm gonna ramp it. After fear greed goes to 40 and everyone's trying to tell me it's no good, blah, 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 blah. This is why I've gone like this is why I've gone like full put the black hat on bad guy thing. I'm not buying any of this. You want to come liquidate my crypto, you can come get me. Right? I mean, what else have you, you're not taking my crypto away. You're not taking my crypto spirit away because you've taken everything else away, right? You go somewhere in November and you fill out the ballot and you think you did something and you did nothing. You did nothing. Like, what's the difference between this guy and the last guy? I don't know. This guy has a more attractive wife. I mean, the rhetoric's different. The packaging is a little different. The outcome is the same. The last guy wasn't with it. This guy's a big brash, 6'3" dude. There's no difference. This is what everyone is actually going to wake up to, right? This is across all sovereigns, right? It's U.S., Europe, Asia. Is anyone working in your interest here? Has anyone told the truth in the last 6, 7 months? No. Actually, the only guy who's told the truth is Michael Saylor, and everyone's making videos about what a jerk he is. Like, oh yeah, Michael Saylor had to sell his stock and to pay interest, and that's never happened in the history of Wall Street. Like, Michael Saylor is terrible, but all these banks that are trying to tell you they have the gold that they say they have. Oh, the banks are just fine. Everything's good at the banks, but oh my God, Michael Saylor does one thing. And, and there is some corporate crypto treasury cringe. I get that. But it would be kind of funny if going down the line, you would see those people as pioneers who help protect their country against a problem with fiat, even though there is some short-term cringe, right? Maybe cringe is good. Maybe cringe is bullish. Cringe was bullish when the meme coin craze was going on. You people were like, oh my God, you're going to buy the Moose coin and 800x'd. On a relative basis, I am not going to tell you that there's something wrong with the treasury companies when I have this news flow that is just like, this is just absolute baloney, and I'm not having it. I'm not doing this. Let's go to like the daily DeMark chart. Whoops. If you go to like daily DeMark, on stuff like ETH, 2 more days. Solana, 2 more days. They got 2 more days to get what they need, right? Bitcoin, Jesus, Bitcoin, we're there now. You don't want to see a failed rally in Bitcoin, but I don't know, man. They got 2 more days to get what they need. It's that simple. And if they don't get it, you're going to see this thing turn around rapidly. XRP, we're there already. This is funny. The forms of money are there. And a final puke is clearly possible. Just, give me 1 puke tomorrow and then we'll bring it back. 1, 2, 3 more days. They're going to use the Powell excuse, whatever excuse they have, they're going to need to use it, or they're going to get smoked. Okay. The OKB token. I understand this is like good for rewards on the exchange. And they also did a huge token burn. Okay. I can understand how people might like this. Just don't throw stones. And, I don't know the fundamentals. The GAN model actually had this as a sell. So if you got some huge ramp in it, like today, the GAN model wanted out of this. But, that's the thing is, when the market's going down, everyone's like, ooh, I want the sell list. But when it goes back up, no one at the sell list becomes controversial. The sell list is useful when things go up. Be like, okay, I'm going to get out of this because we have this. I mean, we have in Patreon, we have Sell list. We have sell list by date, sell list by month, buy and sell. So in August, buy this, sell that. In September, buy this, sell that. Right? Don't say if it goes down, I didn't have enough money, or say, oh, at 112, I couldn't buy any Bitcoin. You could buy some Bitcoin, or you could buy whatever, right? Just, I mean, listen, where in crypto do you have a list where people are saying, buy this and sell that? Of course, it's not investment advice. It's just an opinion show, just like the research is just an opinion. But sometimes knowing what to get out of, especially if your coin is in that neighborhood, may actually help you. Right? You'd be less afraid if you'd be like, okay, this went up, I'll sell, and then I'll rotate over here. People can tell you to do that. But we got paper. We got research. It's this new thing in crypto, I know. Most of it's noise. We have research. That's why we were one of 4 micro YouTube channels of the year. I can only hope that the championship belt is en route. Okay. Okay, so we want to welcome everybody who's here. So let's do that. We have Big Rich in the house. What's going on? Where's T-Bone and Grandpa Keeter? They are with us in spirit. Felix is here. Art, oh my God, from the Amsterdam airport night shift again. Dude, the Amsterdam airport night shift. Can you imagine what that must look like in winter? Bro, enjoy the August summer weather while you have it. I'm not sure what August is like in Amsterdam. I mean, in Texas, you're lucky if it's below 90. Okay. Big Rich, this market is unpleasant. You're right. It is. And it's going to be unpleasant until everyone gets out. And then it's going to give you an entire cycle. Well, I can't tell you everything. That's in the YouTube Member podcast. You don't want to quit this market. Don't. Okay. Sapien, AI power with human data. Folks, let me just tell you something. Whatever stuff like this is, you got to take your shot and get after it. And I know I always say that, but the simple fact of the matter is that, like when API3 woke up, that was a shot heard around the world. That was the shot heard around the world because all this stuff that no one wants to trade on the technology side is going to wake up. Right? So I believe this looks like it's on base, which is a massively underrated network, 62% retracement after running the stops. This is the 30-minute chart of Sapien. Get to the 62% retracement, man. You got to think about it, right? Someone's asking about CLANKER. Toby's picked CLANKER multiple times in the past. I don't mind telling you. I can never figure out what the right symbol is. I'll take a guess on this one. I mean, it's only got a 51 million market cap. Doesn't feel like a big market cap to me. It's got a square consolidation. I'm willing to get in here. I'm willing to say if they want to hit this thing one more time, I'm willing to get after it. Gian, a member, is here. Welcome. Army Piper in the house. One of the best chart guys in the business by far. Forget about it. Yav, what's happening? JB, Carlos. Honest Hopium. Dude, I gave you the Hopium. There's no Hopium, dude. They don't like you. They don't like me. They don't like you. There's only one way to push back, bro. If you got another way to push back and not get in trouble with law enforcement, please let me know. Please let me know. Get fit, don't quit. Nicholas, Quinn the Wrecked, Warmon, members, welcome. People asking about API3. It's the API3 world on fire. We got to get API3. Let's do it. You know, Toby had a couple related picks. You know, I don't know. This is a 4-hour chart and they do the huge ramp. I mean, let's put it this way. If you suffered in API3 for all these years, Army Piper is here. Welcome, sir. There really is no case to get out. I know that's going to sound crazy. I mean, it just hasn't showed up on a sell thing. This hasn't shown up anywhere. What has this coin done? Nothing. Nothing. This coin did the standard pump with everything else. And all these oracles, right? Like, you're like, what's an oracle? Well, dude, you better find out what an oracle is. If you don't know what it is, you better find out. Because if the tech part of crypto wakes up, that's the thing about Ethereum, right? ETH can wake everything up. Everything. I go, what does that mean, everything? That means the entire market. All the technology. Do you think people have been suffering in API3? All the way up, all the way down, winter, spike, crash, mini winter. I mean, okay, bag holders are going to get out. It's at the premium zone. Bag holders will get out. But what's the most important thing? Find other oracles. What's an oracle? They're on Coinbase. Toby picked 2 of them, not even knowing that they were oracles. I showed her what they were. She's like, oh, yeah, more of that. Dude, they run all of finance. No one has talked about the layer 2s. Toby got on layer 2s like a year ago. I'm like, woman, what are you talking about? Layer 2s? Oh, my God. Okay, to be getting people interested in ETH. Never mind layer 2s. Guess what? Guess what? It's coming back. It is absolutely coming back. Do I hold my soul or ditch? Throw me a bone. Okay. So I can't give investment advice, but let me ask you a question. Do you know that there was somebody famous who, when ETH, after it went to 1400, the first rally to 1800, this person dumped ETH at 1800 to buy Solana because Solana was the future and ETH was dead. And what did ETH do? Oh, it just doubled from that price. Now, the FUD about ETH went on for months, a year, more. The FUD on Solana, which isn't really FUD, it's just, oh, Solana's dead because meme coins are dead. Solana was never about meme coins. Like in 2021, when Solana went up, there's no meme coins involved anywhere, nowhere. It was just a super fast version of ETH. So my question, this is the answer. Should you dump your Solana? Should you have dumped ETH at 2,000? Should you have dumped ETH at 3,000? No. So Solana's at 180 and it can't get past there, and there's no reason for Solana, right? You're going to have the dollar, the yen, the euro, sterling, and the Swiss franc get replaced by what? Bitcoin and Ethereum? Ethereum just came on the scene. So right now it's just Bitcoin, right? Then there's Ethereum that just woke up, and now we're willing to give up on the rest of it. See what I'm saying? This is the mind F that they're doing to you. Let's buy crypto treasury stocks. Let's buy Cantor Fitzgerald. Let's buy Circle, but dump Solana. It's no good. Terrible. Forget about it. Don't want it. See what I'm saying? They're scrambling. The question isn't, should you get rid of Solana? Because everyone has a different objective. Everybody has their different portfolio, as Toby says. The question is, why do you want to get rid of your Solana? It's because you've changed your mind about the project, or because it's not moving? Because everybody freaked out in XRP. XRP was at 55 cents while Solana 10x. Should you have dumped XRP at 50 cents? Anybody who dumped their XRP at 50 cents will be very unhappy when Ripple either IPOs or gets taken over. Because that's going to happen. right? All these companies are trying to go public because they know there's going to be a frenzy to take them over. They're going to, I mean, Coinbase is going to have to buy Gemini. They're going to have to. They don't want a competitor in their own backyard. They got to fight against Kraken and Binance. They're going to buy Gemini, or they're going to buy a controlling stake in Gemini, whether Gemini realizes it or not. So what does Gemini do? Go public, pump the value of the company, and make anyone who comes in and invests pay a much higher price. Or if Goldman Sachs can't buy, if they can't buy Coinbase, they'll be a huge investor in the Gemini IPO. Either way, right? So what? That's not going to happen with Ripple. Ripple has stock that trades privately, just like OpenAI does. You just can't see it. Funds can buy it, but you can't. Now, they might tokenize that, or that just may go public. So why is everyone getting out? Why is everyone discouraged? Okay, we're discouraged because it's not going up. Yeah, it's not going up yet, right? Gradually, then suddenly. Or we could just replace that with our latest theme from the YouTube member podcast. Well, I can't tell you what that is. But there's a histogram that I showed on that. When you see that histogram, you won't sell anything. Not investment advice. Toby made it. It's like, yeah, I did this at ChatGPT. Boom. I call it Toby TA. She came up with this graph. I was like, oh my God. This just like changed how I thought about everything. I was like, okay, yeah. Okay, you can distract me with whatever. Good luck. You can pump whatever you want through my Twitter feed. I'm not doing it. No way, Jose. Welcome. Get fit, don't quit. Crypto Gooner, what's up? Nicholas, what's happening? Thomas Chai, a new member, welcome. Jim Dunn, Silas, Daniel J. from the Jersey Shore. Dietz, Brick Dreams, Kenneth, Bob M., a member, Crypto Caller, Kenneth, Kim Craig is in the house, right? Kenneth says, waiting on the EMP with the local troops. If there's a geopolitical event, barring anything disastrous, I hate to say it, but buy it that day. Not investment advice. They come out with something scary. They try to freak you out. The market reacts. Just take it from them. Because anything that they do from here on out just makes them look worse. I don't know if they can look any worse, but they actually start acting on some of this bad behavior. Oh, forget it. People are going to see right through this and be like, you know what? I'm not listening to you anymore. You can start a countdown to that move. And that move in crypto will be up only. Wisdom A. Guess who? Chicken Boo, a new member, possibly a front runner for Rookie of the Year in terms of naming per Toby. Samstrung is here. Side Hill Forging. We should probably get a poll started. Toby wants a cool YouTube name. We'll have to start figuring out what that is. I think Guess Who? Chicken Boo was the thing that got. With the thing I got Toby super interested in it. Okay, Zebec Network. All right, this is it. Zebec. Okay, so nothing outperforms forever, right? It goes up before everything else goes up and then glides itself down to the 50% retracement. And if it gets to 62% retracement at 0.00379, guess what? You just get after it again. The market moves in rotating basis. Like something will go up. Everyone will be like, oh, it's going to go up forever. No, and it goes back down again a little bit. And everyone gets discouraged or whatever. Everyone starts worrying. Stop worrying. The market doesn't go up all at once. The Fed, the central banks did not print. Everyone's example of what the crypto market should look like was from an era where the central banks printed $14 trillion in 1 month. So we produced nothing and they printed $14 trillion. Inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods. So there was too many dollars, 14 trillion, and no goods. So the money chased anything, crypto, stocks, whatever. And then everything at Costco 10x'd. It's not going to move the way it used to. So, people, Zebec, you got it? Well, leave it. Just leave it. This is not the time. unless the project has changed or your stop has been triggered or something has broken down, just leave it. All right, people. Undoubtedly, the Eagle King and related personnel are unhappy because I have once again monologued for an hour and a half. So that is the market update for today. We will see you. What is today? I don't know. On tomorrow.